い、こんばんや。コミュシネコ隊隊長 VTuber と DJ レグの DJ ユキです。Yuki will be continuing ひぐらしのなく頃に解。Tsumihoroboshi編. So the last two Higurashi streams, we did the first 4 chapters. So today we will continue with the next 2 chapters, chapter 5 and chapter 6. So I think we are near the Watanagashi festival, and before during the past 2 chapters, basically oh my god, basically Rena's dad buys all new furniture, and things look brand new furniture, but everything else is being thrown away, basically, including stuff that Rena-chan would salvage from the what do you call it? Trash. The dumpster. Landfill. Yeah, so basically stuff is being thrown away. And then Rena's dad tells Rena to go to the city to help him pick up a new suit or outfit, I forgot, that that he bought, and it wasn't ready yet it wasn't there yet, so then I went to this shady cafe where she ends up witnessing the girl that her dad is enamored with Teppei Hojo, Satoko's nasty uncle, basically like extorting money, basically. And then she finds out, and then she meets up with Shion, and what's his name again? Oh my god, I forgot. Shion andなんだっけ? Hold on, I just want to make sure. Shion and um 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 Kasai-san, and she finds out from Kasai-san that she's basic or the girl that she witnessed in that we know as the woman that we know as the woman that Denna's dad is enamored with is basically being extorted, and Denna Denna's getting angry, basically, or she is angry. angry, much times a million, basically. So that's where we left off, I think. So we'll get started there. A bit. We also learned about Rena-chan Rena-chan's very very sad story with her mom basically cheating her mom being very successful, her dad not being very successful, and then her mom ends up cheating with someone else. And Rena basically tells her mom, no, I'm not staying with you. Don't talk to me ever again. So she stays with her dad, who's very devastated. Until he meets that girl, that woman that we find out is trying to extort the money, the ton of money that Rena's dad got from divorce settlement. So yeah, that's where we end off. So we'll get started with chapter 5. Oh, you're talking about Kasai-san. He's Shion's watchdog. Her watchdog? Really? Yeah, he is. Shion tends to do crazy things, so she needs to have someone watch her all the time. I think you're as crazy as Shion. Keiichi-kun cut into the conversation. They ended up making a lot of noise, teasing each other like they always do. Mion made it sound like that man, Kasai-san, is some sort of territory boss in Okinomiya. It wouldn't be easy for me to meet him in person. But because he's Shi-chan's watchdog, I might be able to find a way. The problem, though, is that I don't have any connection to Shi-chan either. We hang around once in a while whenever she comes to Hinamizawa, but I've never called or visited her. I have no idea how we can meet. Even if I could meet Kasai-san, there's no guarantee that he'd help me. He seems like the kind of person who doesn't like to gossip around others. He told me about Nina-san at the coffee house only because Shi-chan pushed him to. Plus, the situation could grow worse very quickly while I waited for the chance to meet him. So, any hope he might offer could come too late. I remember Kasai-san told me that as her next step, Nina-san usually uses her partner to threaten their catch. That would signify the end of her performance. They were gonna take all of my father's money. I wasn't feeling a sense of crisis yet, but the time might be coming very soon. Even when I was at school, taking a class peacefully, that man might be at the house right this moment, threatening my father to hand over his bank books. Once I become anxious, I get more and more anxious. I could feel big pressure on my chest as if the ceiling had collapsed on me. Man, I'm so bored. My life is too peaceful. Keiichi Keiichi-kun talks at me, yawning. Is that so bad? I'd love to have a peaceful life that bored me. I don't. I wish some kind of big event would happen. Like aliens coming to attack us or something. I'm not saying that I'd like to have something like that happen every week, but at least at the end of every month or so. Oh, and that doesn't include our monthly tests. If aliens really did come, destroy the earth, and burn all of Hinamizawa, would you be satisfied? Would you? No, that's not what I meant. I'm just saying I just want some kind of excitement because I'm so bored. He had no idea what I've been going through, of course, and that's why he says that. But I was still irritated by his insensitivity. I couldn't understand why he wouldn't be satisfied with such a peaceful life. He never has to doubt that today and tomorrow would be as fun as yesterday. I was all too aware that boring and peaceful days could be destroyed all of a sudden. I knew that boring and peaceful days could come to an end all of a sudden because your mom wanted to divorce your dad. I knew that you could feel like you didn't belong anywhere in your own house because your dad had gotten a new girlfriend. Even so, you had to repeat the same kind of day over and over again. That's why I wanted to live life every day happily in order to prepare when the world comes to its end. I'm jealous of you, you know. You look so happy all the time. I wish I had that kind of skill. Oh, I'm jealous of you, you know. You look like you're so happy all the time. I wish I had that kind of skill. You're jealous of me, huh? How do you do it? How do you live every day not being bored, but being happy? Is it really a skill? If it's really a skill, I'd love to learn how. That's easy. All you need to do is realize. Realize what? There's no way he could realize it. And it's probably better that he didn't. Because that meant he was truly happy. You just need to realize that your happy days will one day come to an end. The three of us walked home from school like we always did. Mii-chan said goodbye to us at the corner of the street, where she took her separate way home. She walked away waving, but I chased after her. Mii-chan! What? Mii-chan apparently thought she dropped something, and she looked around to see what she dropped. Oh, ha ha ha! I almost forgot to tell you. I saw Shi-chan and Kasai-san yesterday at a coffee house, and I picked something that Kasai-san dropped while he was there. Of course he hadn't dropped anything. I was lying. If I could meet him, I'd just show him whatever. Tell him what I thought it was his, and apologize for my mistake. Oh, well, thank you then. I'll send it over to him in that case. I'd like to give it back to him in person. Eh? Mii-chan looks surprised. I couldn't blame her. I met him only once. It's weird to want to give something back in person to someone you barely knew? Well, that's alright, but why? Oh, he had this kawaii beard and these kawaii sunglasses. I'm so crazy about kawaii things. Oh. Could I fudge my true intentions with my kawaii mode? I tried it anyway. Ichan usually takes words at their face value, and indeed she seemed to buy it. Please don't pull his beard and take it home with you. So, do you think I can meet him? Well, I have no idea if he's busy or not. I'll ask him when he's coming back to Hinamizawa next. I needed to know when as soon as possible. Of course, I wasn't going to say I wanted to meet him today, but at least tomorrow, the next, or the day after tomorrow. What are you guys doing? Seems like you didn't have found a new love. No. Oh. Really? How interesting. I want to hear about it too. I didn't want her to leave it up in the air, so I told her. I think I should give it back to him as soon as possible. I'm sure he's looking for it too. Ichan said okay twice and walked away raving. I hadn't yet thought about how I was gonna ask for help when I would meet him. He seemed to be in a higher position than Rina-san and her partner. If he agreed to help me, it would be very encouraging. But there's a possibility he'd tell me that he didn't want to interfere in other people's private matters. He could just say the whole thing was another love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover. Bye, Rena. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. I said goodbye to Keiichi-kun and walked home alone. After Keiichi-kun was gone, everything went quiet and my head became clear. What I needed at the moment was quiet time to think about what I should do from then on. I shouldn't depend on Kasai-san to solve my problem. He most likely declined my request, so I have to think about some alternatives. It's probably better that I just do that. The love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover. Those words bothered me, because I've seen an unhappy triangle like that before. That sort of thing had happened to Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun experienced that last year. He fought for his sister in a triangle with his aunt. It was the same situation as mine. I'm trying to fight to protect my father. Satoshi-kun fought alone. Nobody helped him. All I did for him was give him my sympathy and compassion. I didn't think I could do anything more than that. I felt sorry for him, but I didn't really help him out. Irresponsibly, I tried to cheer him up, and I probably told him something that I thought would make him feel better, but that hurt him instead. I recently realized how much I hurt him with my insensitivity, because Keiichi just hurt me the same way. I'm gonna go down the same path as Satoshi-kun went last year. I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu, an unusual repetition. Would that mean that I'm gonna be the one that gets demon away this year? I should be okay. I wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa. Was I? I wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa, but I thought about running away from home many times. That's why I made the place I could escape to in the garbage dump. That dump happened to be in Hinamizawa, but what if it wasn't? Running there would be the same way as running away from Hinamizawa. I shouldn't think up like that. Oyashiro-sama will get mad at me. Oyashiro-sama is really scary. I saw flickering lights in my head. Oh no. Every time I tried to remember that time, my mind would stop working properly. I remembered the vivid colors of my psychoactive drugs. The flickering lights and clouds started spreading in my head. They were so bright and annoying. Don't try to remember. Don't try too hard to remember. Don't try too hard to remember. Ah! No! 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 I couldn't stop the flickering lights in my head. I couldn't have that feeling. I had to fill my heart with another feeling. Yeah, there was no time for these crazy flickering lights in my head. I had to think about what I should do when Kasai-san declined my request for help. I had to protect my father from Rina-san and that bad man. Wait, why am I still calling her that? Rina's Rina. Rina. She's a bad person who deceived my father and tried to bring us unhappiness. Bad people bring bad things into the world without even doing anything. They're different from the other 90% of people who aren't bad. If you let them loose, they'll ruin everything. They'll even ruin the people around them. When you have run-bred tangerine in the box, it spreads its fungus to the other tangerines around it. That's what bad people are like. I couldn't remember how Satoshi-kun resolved his triangle last year. But I could still see the flickering lights in my head. They're still flickering. 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 Just as the swirl of flickering lights were making me dizzy, I saw my house. I also saw Rina-san's scooter parked by the side of the gate. The moment I saw the bike, the flickering lights disappeared and I regained control of myself. Rina-san spent the night last night. She told me she had to work today in the evening, so she should be leaving soon. But I didn't want to be around her even for a little until she left. I said, "Tadaima!" real loud, rushed into the house, pretended that my friends were waiting outside, and rushed out of the house. But Rina-san stopped me. "Hey, Rina-san, you're home." "Ah, hello." This was the first time I thought Rina-san's smile was ugly. It always stood to reason. I'd realized the scheme she was hiding behind the smile. Your father and I went to Gogura for lunch today. There's a restaurant there that makes delicious Indian curry. My father poked his head out of the living room and he says, "I want to go there next time. I want to go there again next time we go." I really like that curry. I wonder if he meant with me next time, or with me and her. Anyway, I hate it when Rina-san says your father. We bought you some curry home from the restaurant. Try it later. It's very good. Have you heard of the restaurant, Reina-san? I didn't know of the restaurant she was talking about. I saw it in a magazine. It's a new restaurant that recently opened. I also remembered it was an expensive restaurant. The amount of money they spent on the take-home curry alone must have been enough to cover the cost of all our dinners for several nights. How much would that be? I'm used to like curry being like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like 10-15 bucks. Oh. 1500円ぐらいに2000円ぐらいにゃ。Since I was aware of what was in the bank books, it was hard for me to stay calm. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Rina-san. Rina-chan, your father and I would like to talk about something with you. I'm sorry, but my friends are waiting for me, so I have to go. Oh, we're going treasure hunting into the garbage dump again. You really like treasure hunting, huh? I'd like to go there sometime. Oh no. Well, I gotta go. Bye. Every time Rina-san moved her arms or head, the scent of perfume struck my nostrils. I hate the smell of her perfume, so I couldn't stay there a second longer. I rushed out of the house and started to get away from her perfume. The rubber band inside me, the one called Elena, was stretched all the way to its limit. I'm pretty sure I'd explode, and go crazy if the rubber band broke. I didn't want to feel like that inside my own house. My house was supposed to be the place where I could open my heart freely. I ran away. I ran away from there. I ran further and further away from there because it was no longer a place I belonged. It was not that I had a destination in mind. I was just running away. I was running to escape to a place where I did belong. Didn't I decide to fight against that woman? Didn't I decide to fight against her either by myself or with my father? But then, once I saw her fake smile, a chill ran up my spine. It was like I picked up a stone, found a carpet of bugs underneath it, and put it back on the ground in a hurry. I rushed out of the house as fast as I could. Did I want to fight, or did I want to run away? Was I choosing to spend a peaceful time at my hideout, believing that tomorrow would be the same as today? I couldn't do that. I didn't know when they'd spring their trap. I couldn't afford to waste any time. I knew that deep down. I knew that, but I just wanted to run away. I couldn't stop myself from running away, and so I did run away. At times like this, the mattress in my hideout would feel so soft that I knew. The cries of the Higurashi were soothing to the ears. They sounded as soft as my mattress. They were like music. They didn't force any feelings upon me. They cried as if to tell me to just be who I am. It was always quiet here, that I immediately noticed the purr of an engine coming closer. Oh no. I hope that's not who I think it is. People used to come here and make a lot of noise during the damn conflict, but now nobody really comes here. This is a place forgotten, so it was rare to see somebody come through here at all. I sat on the roof of an abandoned car and waited for the intruder to go away without looking their way. But the purr of the engine stopped. I'm not stupid. If it stopped, I knew exactly who it had to be. I heard the person calling me, but I ignored it once. The person came closer, making it harder for me to ignore her. And she called my name again. I turned around this time. I know it! Ina-san. Ina-chan, are you hard of hearing? I'm sorry, I guess I couldn't hear you because of the wind. She seemed to buy my poor excuse. His mom said, yeah, it happens sometimes. Are you here alone? Where's your friend? I'm playing here alone. Well, it's rare for a girl your age to play alone. Rina-san stretched and looked across. Rina-san stretched and looked across the huge garbage dump. I can't believe people throw so much scrap out here. You know, there used to be a place where people threw tons of abandoned cars without wheels. It was near Hirasaka. I wasn't interested in Nina's old story, but I pretended to listen and nodded. She doesn't take this road back to Okinomiya. I guess she knew I'd be here and came by to see. I can't. What did she want? It was obvious she was just trying to make conversation. She probably took it personally when I avoided her earlier, which is why she was here to butter me up. It would be better for her not to have any conflicts with the daughter of the man she's seeing, no matter what the intention of seeing him is. In that sense, it was a reasonable action for her to take. I listened to her old story. All I could think about was when she was going to leave. Didn't I have to fight against her? Didn't I decide to fight against her? Didn't I find out her plot at the coffee house in Okinomiya? Didn't I find out that this woman is squeezing money out of my father when I looked inside his cash box? I know who you are. Please, leave my father alone. How easy would it be if these two sentences could solve the problem? She'd probably deny it. Even if I told her what I heard at the coffee house, I have no evidence of her plot. If she said she did it because the vulgar man was threatening her, there would be nothing I could do. But I know this woman is a bad person. I know something horrible will happen in the near future if I waste time like this. A strange, tense feeling started coming over me. But I didn't know how to let it out. As the feeling started running high, I became unable to stand the smell of her perfume. I wanted to put a certain distance between me and her, so I climbed down the slope of the scrap heap. I kept going down and down the slopes of the garbage dump. When I turned around, I saw her coming down as well, muttering. Was she following me? In order to run away from her, I started running down the slope all the way to the bottom. Went behind some trash piles and arrived in front of my hideout. My escape was meaningless. Not only was she going to catch up with me eventually, all I did was let her know the way to my hideout that nobody is supposed to know about. I wanted to make sure she never saw my precious hideout. I was about to leave, but then she appeared. Wow, this is cool. It's like a secret base. Oh, she found out. This is my secret hideout. Nobody comes here and nobody can hear us. Okay, I'm gonna have to say that again. This is my secret hideout. Nobody comes here and nobody can hear us. I felt strange hearing myself say that. So, this is your secret hideout, huh? I'm honored to be invited here. She must have thought that I told her my secret because she was worth sharing it with. She looked happy. She found the station wagon, looked inside of it through the window, and went ooh and ah excitedly. This is a secret place that nobody else knows. I felt like the consciousness was separating my body, like it was floating. But it didn't feel good, like when I drank amazake. It was like I was being car sick. I felt like I was gonna throw up. My brain was probably secreting some chemical in order to avoid facing the reality that I had to stay with this woman, that I couldn't run away from her. But even my brain tried to avoid recognizing it. The reality in front of me wouldn't change. Dana-chan. Yes? What's wrong? Are you feeling okay? Yes, I'm fine. I inhaled fresh breath, I inhaled fresh air, and pulled my consciousness back to reality. I didn't feel like throwing up anymore, but I still felt off balance. I leaned into a scrap of garbage to keep my balance. I like you, Reina-chan. You like me? What are you talking about all of a sudden? I said that because I didn't want to say that I like her. I've been seeing your father for quite a long time, and we've been talking about many things, you know. I needed to stop feeling like this. Get up, Nina. I heard something like this before. A part of me was trying to understand what this woman was trying to say, but a part of me was trying not to. I felt like as if her words were bouncing around my head, and I started having a headache. We just serious talk about our future the other day. You know, about our life together, and so on. What? You like Akito Oji-san, don't you, Reina? So your father... Oh, I see. You like Akito Oji-san, don't you, Reina? So your father and I are... What's going on? Mother? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about, Reina? This is an important moment. You're having a one-on-one battle with Nina-san. No. Mom, what about my dad? What about me? I don't want you to divorce him. I don't want you to get remarried to anyone else. No, please don't divorce him. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you get remarried. I'm not going to let you get married to my father. What? I don't care if you go out with him, but I'm not going to let you get married to my father. She must have not thought that I'd say it straight out like that. She looked stunned. After a while, she broke her silence with her laughter. Ah! I thought you might reject me, but I didn't think you'd say it straight out like that. You thought I might reject you? I'm surprised you even noticed that I was doing it. Of course I did. You always ran away whenever you saw me. You thought I didn't know? That's why I hate kids. She frowned, revealing her ugly self. It should have been the first time I saw her face like that, but I wasn't surprised at all. Her face looked like that to me from the beginning. I wanted to get along with you if I could, at least on the surface, but I guess it's hard to do that now since you hate me so much. What do you hate about me? I'd like to know for future reference. Everything. I hate everything about you. I hate your smell too. One vicious word came out my mouth after another. I didn't have wings, but I felt as if I was flying up to the sky. I felt weird and uncomfortable, but also exhilarated. I felt as if letting another me use my body. I was in the middle of a disastrous battlefield, but I felt like it wasn't even my business. That's just fine with me, because I hate you too. I guess we're even. You fucking little brat. You better shut your fucking mouth or I'll make you. Never come to my house again. I'll never let you get married to my father. I don't need your permission, you know. Well, why don't you stop your father from remarrying? Let's see what happens. I think you're wasting your time, though. She didn't look intimidated by me at all, and that made me feel a little intimidated in return. Why was she so confident of her absolute control over my father? She had to have more than confidence to be able to act as fearless as this. She must have something tangible. Before I asked what it was, she told me herself. I'm pregnant. You're lying! Huh? I'm not lying. It's true. 嘘だ! 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 It's a lie! It's a lie! It's a lie! It's a big lie! She has to divorce because she got pregnant. She has to get married because she got pregnant. That's a lie. That's a big lie. I'm a Christian, so I can't get an abortion. You'll just have to accept it. Plus, we had sex with marriage in mind. He may be pregnant. If he changes his mind and takes no responsibility, it's gonna be a big mess, you know. That was your plan, wasn't it? I overheard it. I heard the conversation that you had with that man, Chit-chan, at the coffee house. I know you started seeing my father for his money. I know you called him your husband in Hinamizawa. I know he's just a big catch for you. I know everything because I heard it from Kasai-san. I know you do badger games too. Oh, you knew? Well. Before I knew it, Dina was standing right in front of me. We glared at each other with our faces almost touching. So, Reina-chan, you know everything? And what are you thinking you're gonna do? Don't come near my father ever again! What if I refuse? You wanted to talk to me at your secret hideout, right? I kind of knew you wanted to talk to me. I kind of knew that what you wanted to talk to me about. You brought me to your secret hideout where nobody knows and nobody can hear us, right? Yeah, you're right. Nobody knows about this place and nobody can hear us here. Nobody comes here because it's a place forgotten. Her Our faces were so close to each other that our noses could almost touch. I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't know what would happen next. I couldn't back down now. I couldn't back down now that I'd come to this point, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I should do. Come on, let's not do this. Let's be friends again. Nina-san started laughing and slapped me on the back. My expression didn't change, but I kept staring at Gina. But I didn't notice her real intention of putting both of her arms around my neck. The tension broke, already stretched thin, and Nina squeezed my neck hard. I was openly hostile, but I didn't realize Nina's evil intentions until she started choking me. You little brat! I was so close to getting millions of yen. If you at least pretended to get along with me, I would have given you a good allowance. But you just can't keep your fucking mouth shut, can you? You got some fucking nerve. You brala, you should die. I tried to pry her hands off my neck, but I didn't have the strength to do so. I didn't want to kill you, but I probably will never get as big of a catch as your father again, so I don't mind killing you for millions of yen. I was gonna disappear after I got that money anyway. This is what you get for talking back to me. The world around me got darker and darker. I never knew an evil intention like this, mainly, and the intention to kill me. It didn't scare me though. That's because being scared is a feeling that people use to express how they feel when they see wildfire on the other side of a river. People on the island with the wildfire, with their deaths right in front of them, they don't get scared. If I loosen my grip on her hands even a little bit, she crossed my throat. This was a simple competition to see who was stronger. Dina wanted to get into the most advantageous position, so she tried to push me down to the ground so that she could mount me. If I let her do that, I wouldn't stand a chance. I tried to keep my current position, but I was losing a lot of energy by being choked. So it's only been a matter of time before Dina could push me down. I lost my balance on purpose. I tried to fall backward in order to pull her off balance. I couldn't hold my breath long enough to keep up that strict competition. So I had no choice but to take that chance. We fell on the ground, tangled together. But as Dina was strongly determined to kill me, she didn't even take her hands away from my neck after she fell. However, that action made Dina loosen her grip on my throat. It wasn't loose enough for me to break free from her grip, but it gave me a few moments to use my hands for something other than stopping her from crushing my throat. If I hadn't taken the chance, I could have been done for. That's why I tried to literally seize my chance. I moved both of my hands on the ground to seize that chance. I felt a piece of broken glass on my right hand. That was truly my chance to literally save myself from the brink of death. I I cut Dina's wrist deep with the piece of glass. Yeah! Dina tried to endure the pain for a few seconds, but pain that severe from someone so cornered soon broke her will. She let go my throat to cling her bloody wrist. I used that moment to roll away from her. It fucking hurts! She screamed, both in pain and also to try to intimidate me again. It didn't work anymore though. Intimidation only works on an opponent when the opponent is hesitant to fight. When you're ready to fight, screaming like that means nothing more than hurting the opponent. Letting the opponent know how badly you're hurt. I no longer had any hesitation. I learned from Nina. She told me what I had to do in a situation like this. That's right. This is my secret hideout. I know every single piece of junk in here. Maybe I knew that a day like this was coming. Was it just coincidence that it was there? I had pulled out a meter-long lead pipe, not at all surprised to see it there. I raised it up high and brought it back down. There's no way Rina could block this hard and heavy lead pipe with just her hands. She probably tried to block it with her palms of her hands in order to take it from me. But her long nails wouldn't let that happen. Unable to catch that the way she wanted, she broke her fingers and some nails came off too. Yeah! Her scream made me realize that I had the advantage. An advantage that I could keep. If I didn't, she'd just turn the tables like I did, and she'd choke me to death for sure. Yeah! Stop! Stop it! Wait! Dina shielded her head with her arms, but it didn't help. All that would change is that I break her arms before I broke her face. I'm serious! Stop it right now! I'm serious too. Die! 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 You should die! Yeah, that's right. I should have done this a long time ago. I didn't need proof. I didn't have to talk to anybody. That's stupid. That's nonsense. I should have done this a long time ago. If I had done it a long time ago, my father wouldn't have been deceived. I could have protected him. I could have protected my family. I could have protected my life. I could have protected myself. My mother wouldn't have divorced my father. I could have stayed happy. I wouldn't have to be unhappy. I'm going to recapture my happiness. At this moment, I'm going to win back my happiness. I'm not going to go cry for misfortune. I'm not going to go give in to a fate of unhappiness. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to seize my happiness right now with my own two hands. Dina tried to run away from me, but she no longer had the use of her hands. It made it difficult for her to stand to escape, especially since there were scraps of junk everywhere on the ground. After all, this is my hideout. This is my territory. Nobody can run away from here. She tried to climb up the slope of garbage, slipped, fell, and rolled all the way back down. She didn't stand up or move. Her eyes were open, and her neck was bent at an unnatural angle. I didn't know how to make sure she was dead, so I kept looking at her open eyes for a while. She could be faking it for all I know. Like she didn't close her eyes no matter how long I waited. I scooped up a handful of sand and threw it into her face. She didn't even close her eyes. The lead pipe slipped out of my hand and hit the ground. When I tried to pick it up, I realized how heavy it was. I was surprised that I was wielding it as though it was a knife. I was sweating all over. The cold wind felt good on my skin. The cries of the Higurashi were calming me down and healing my soul. Rina was just a broken down me now. She had become a piece of junk. I'm the owner of this land of junk, and I've defended it from her intrusion. Now she was a resident of this junkyard. I didn't feel bad about killing her. In fact, I felt rather fulfilled that I had defeated the evil woman who had deceived my father. I started breathing slowly and calmly, and I regained enough energy to analyze the situation. I'd have to hide her body. First, I had to get rid of the scooter. I climbed up the hill and kicked her scooter down the hill. It rolled down the slope, making a lot of noise and blended in with all the junk. It stopped, like it was there from the beginning. I went back down the slope and started dragging her body to my hideout. It should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50-pound sandbag, but it felt lighter than that. It was a sandbag, yet it brought disaster to my family. I didn't lure her here in order to kill her. Or did I? Maybe I just didn't notice that I had intention deep down in my heart. But even so, it felt like this was the best and most expedient solution. There was no better solution than killing her. How wasteful to depend on someone to help me, to wait for the day to come when they will. I remembered the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt that happened last year. I had no doubt that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but I've never been as convinced as I am right now, at this moment. How could he have saved Satoko-chan other than by killing his aunt last year? At that time, in that circumstance, my situation was the same as his. How could I have saved my father other than by killing her? If I was planning a murder, I would have been under a lot of pressure and stress. But for better or for worse, the moment came to me out of nowhere. That's why I believe I solved my problem with as little trouble as possible. Now that she's gone, will anyone become suspicious about her disappearance? She was a irresponsible person who skipped work at her own convenience, so I didn't think anyone would get suspicious when she disappeared one day. She was a big mess from the start. People will think that she went into hiding because she got in deep trouble with someone. I didn't need to fabricate an alibi. All I needed to do was get rid of her body. It took me a while to figure out how to do that last part. Hiding her body would be very risky, but my brain had become so calm that I did some calculations and came up with an answer right away. Yes, this place is still the safest. This is a place forgotten. Nobody comes here. Nobody knows this place is here. I knew that because I've been spending a lot of time here. Compared to taking a risk of carrying her body to some other place, it was a lot safer to just hide it here. But it wasn't perfect yet. This place wouldn't remain a secret forever. I could hide it here for now, but I have to come up with a perfect way to make it completely disappear. It's a lot easier to think about it than thinking about how to make Lina break up with my father. I stuffed her corpse into a broken refrigerator in a trash pile. I wanted to cover the refrigerator with dirt and bury it. But that was too easy. I had to chop up the corpse into pieces and make them completely disappear. I felt like it got dark all of a sudden. No, it didn't get dark all of a sudden. I just didn't realize. It was getting dark until just now. I could hear thunder from a distance. It might rain soon. I could use some rain. It washed Rina's dirty blood into the ground. I should go home. I should think about what I'd do tomorrow. I was gonna stay right beside my father until he forgets about her. He might be hurt at first, but we're gonna recapture our happiness for sure. Our happy, peaceful life. My body was heavy with exhaustion. I also felt fulfilled because I took a very important first step today. I kept taking one step after another. I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm not gonna cry until I win back my happiness. I'm not gonna cry again. You don't need to get remarried. That's the first thing I said after I got home. My father looked stunned. He noticed the sad tone in my voice, and realizing that I didn't agree with the idea of his remarriage, he looked down. I understand. I know how you feel, Reina. I should have talked to you about it with you first, and that woman is lying to you about her pregnancy. Don't talk like that. Rina-san is, I'll tell you the truth. That woman and a guy called Tetchan are a team of bad people. She went out with you because she was trying to get our money. My father didn't get it right. My father didn't get it right away. He thought he looked upset instead because I called her that woman. I should have chosen my words a little more carefully, but I think I told him the truth clearly enough. I told him everything I heard and saw at the coffee house. As suspected, he defended Dina anyway. I was upset, but at the same time, it made me certain that there was no other way than to kill her. I felt the pressure on my shoulders lessen for some reason. My father thought he needed my approval for his remarriage, so he held back his anger and put on a fake smile on his face instead. Hey, Reina, let's sit down with a cup of tea and talk. I'm sure you'll understand once you hear me out. A tamed animal is still tamed, even after the owner's dead. That's okay. I'll open the gate anyway. Even a tame animal will notice one day that he's no longer in captivity. That's something that I could teach him. He had to realize it on his own. I couldn't stand his fake smile anymore, so I left our living room. Time healed the pain from the divorce. Time heals any kind of pain, just like how dripping water will eventually bore a hole through solid rock. I did what I could do. Now I'd have to wait. But the day I was going to wait for came earlier than I expected. At midnight of the following day, we had a visitor. It was that Tetchan man. Hojo Teppe. Teppe didn't even knock on the door to get in. He broke into the house by smashing the window. At first, I thought he came here to ask about Dina's whereabouts, but I was wrong. The real reason Tepe came here was because it was their plan. It was the last stage of their badger game. Dina was probably supposed to be in bed with my father at that time tonight. Tepe must have wanted to show up and catch them sleeping together. Tepe looked around the house, but he couldn't find Nina. He didn't change the plan though. He grabbed my father by his collar and started yelling threats. He started showing my father a certificate of marriage to Nina and shouted at him saying, You got my wife pregnant. How are you gonna take responsibility? My father had no idea she was married. He looked shocked. My father's a short guy who's faint of heart. He just let Tepe do and say whatever he wanted from beginning to end. I looked at them from a distance coldly. The more Tepe yelled and threatened my father, the faster he'd wake up from his bad dream. This was a medicine for him. Tepe was cutting out the cancer that I was going to depend on time to do. I was doing a great job of it. I waited to help my father until I was sure he had finally awakened from his bad dream. I told Tepe that I had something very important to tell him and took him outside. So, what do you want? Has Rina-san come back to Okinomiya since yesterday? Huh? As a matter of fact, she's hiding somewhere. What? I don't get it. Rina-san told me to take you to her when you came to my house. What the fuck's Ritsuko thinking? Tepe followed me without hesitation. We walked in the dark with a flashlight to the place where nobody comes and nobody can hear us. The place forgotten. He asked me many things on the way, but I couldn't answer any of them. I just told him to ask Dina. The way that it seemed to make him think that Dina was going to betray him and get married to my father for real. Even though he was breathing heavily in a rage, he walked right behind me without any suspicions. I knew this day was going to come very soon, so I was prepared for it. We reached the place where I originally planned to bring him, and I turned off the flashlight all of a sudden. Oh, what's going on? Everyone gets nervous when the only light in the dark goes off. But this is my territory. I didn't need any light. I could feel my surroundings even better with my eyes closed. I grabbed the big hatchet I had hidden in the bush and lifted it up high. I'm sorry, I guess the battery went out. Hold on for a second. Okay, hurry it up. I purposely sounded weak and helpless while I raised the hatchet into the air. Oh, I got a lighter. I'll just light this baby up. Tepe found a lighter in his pocket and lit it up. He probably couldn't understand the sight illuminated by that small light. He saw a girl lifting up a big hatchet right in front of him. Tepe's eyes went wide. He didn't understand what was going on, but he understood that his life was in danger. And yet, he must not have been able to think fast enough to deal with it even though he understood what he should do. Even if he could think fast enough and block his head with his arms, it wouldn't have meant anything. I knew Tepe would come to my house eventually. That's why I prepared for that day. I just didn't think that preparation was going to bear fruit tonight. I chose my weapon very carefully. I planned when, where, and how I was going to attack him. And so, there can only be one result. The hatchet cut deeply into his forehead. I felt an indescribable vibration through the hatchet when it hit him, and this told me that I broke his skull. He bragged about how good he was at fighting at the coffee house, but he sure didn't went down quickly when faced with a murderous weapon. He was stunned by a single blow. Teppei slowly fell to his side with a hatchet in his forehead. He looked like a victim in a B-movie. I killed this big guy with just one hatchet. He was probably quite experienced in the world of violence, but I was better than him when it came to killing. Why? Because I've killed someone before. It's all done now. The bad people who deceived my father and tried to rob him blind are all gone. I did what I had to do in order to protect my life. If I had that much courage and determination when my mom told me about the divorce, I might have killed Akihito. If I did, I would have taken the life of only one. Because I couldn't do it back then. I've had to kill two people in the last 2 days. Dana, let's finish it up. There's ready a place to hide his body. I took care of everything. My hands were wet, so I shone my flashlight at them. I thought it was blood, but it was just sweat. Even though I still felt uncomfortable and shone the flashlight at my hand several times, I did this in order to be happy. I did this so I could be happy now. I tried so hard that I got blood in my hands. I wanted to get that credit for that from him. Oyashiro-sama, let me ask you a question. Can I finally rewind the time back to the day everything started to go wrong, can I? I'm gonna stay in Hinamizawa. I'm gonna live happily with my father forever. It's rare to see Rena sleep in class. She isn't the type of girl who sleeps in class because of staying up this late. She had to be tired from doing housework or something. Everyone seemed to be thinking the same thing. Nobody tried to work her up, not even Tie-sensei. She got up a few seconds and went back to sleep. She swayed back and forth like she was rowing a boat. But she's in class, so I should wake her up, right? I was about to wake her up, but before my hand touched her, Mion gave me a sign not to. Let her sleep. She must be really tired today. You're right. I heard a few days ago that Rena lives with her father. She studies during the day, plays a lot after school, and does things around the house after that. I didn't know that. I also didn't know her mother divorced her father. Mion told me that, and she'd also told me not to talk about it because Rena was still hurt by that divorce. I didn't notice she was going through such a tough time. Rena's the kind of girl who doesn't show pain to others. She always looks happy and cheerful, but she might be acting that way on purpose. Rena told me that happy days will one day come to an end. She told me that she knew that firsthand. What could she have been through? I had no idea. That's probably why she tried to spend as much time peacefully and cheerfully as she could. I must have hurt her feelings when I said I was bored of having happy days. When I thought about it, I felt bad for living off my parents, who were both healthy and happy. For that matter, Satoko and Rika-chan lost their parents too. Mion lives with her grandmother, away from her parents, because she needs to learn to be the head of the Sonozaki family in the future. When I realized that, I felt bad about my situation. You don't have to feel bad about living with your parents. Mion seemed to read my mind. She said it with a cool expression. A family is the most common community for kids like us to live in. But it's not the only community we have. You mean friends? You're right. You think we're as good as friends to family to Reina? Reina does cleaning, laundry, cooking, and shopping, so she must be tired every day. She could spend her afternoon taking naps. But she doesn't do that. She spends her afternoons playing with us. That means, how should I put it? That means we're her best friends. So you're saying we're friends with as much value as family to her? Mion looked stunned, as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. I didn't know what friends meant for you. I didn't know what friends meant for you until today. But I believe friends are just important and valuable as family. It's actually very easy to understand. Rika-chan joined our conversation. The important thing is to have people around whom you can feel comfortable. Sometimes you can call them family, or sometimes you can call them friends. It's just a matter of the word you use. Are friends the same as family to you, Rika-chan? Yes, they are. I believe they are to Satoko, me, and Reina too. I guess that's why we always try to stay together. Do you ever feel lonely when you're with your friends? They're my family, so I'm not lonely. Milan nodded in agreement. Satoko was talking with her other classmates, but I'm sure she would nod as well. Rina would too. I'm a little embarrassed. Why? I've been using the word friends, but I don't think I understood its true meaning until today. Friends are more important and irreplaceable than I thought they were. That's like common sense. So you should take this opportunity to remember that. Yeah, I will. I also recommend that you don't say that again.
Thank you for the raid. ありがとにゃ。
Hey, how are you doing? Hey, thank you for the raid. ちょっと待って。Capybara, coconut doggy day. How was your stream? What were you? Oh shoot! Wrong one. I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. I'm so bad at this. Oh shoot. Komen ya. There we go. How was your stream? Oh my gosh. How was that Hello Kitty Island adventure? Nya. Capybara. こんばんや、コミュ障猫隊隊長 VTuber と DJ リガの DJ ユキです。Yuki is playing Or Yuki's reading Higurashi. Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. Yuki's at what is it? Chapter 6 or the 6th game of the Higurashi games. Yuki's having fun. Yuki's glad you had fun. Oh yeah, Yuki's having fun with all this scariness. Oh yeah. Yeah, Yuki's at chapter 5 right now of this 6th game of Higurashi. And so basically, Yuki, what do you call it? Yuki play every October. Yuki goes to the Higurashi series, and that's what we're doing today. Or that's what we're doing this month again. So we're now in the 6th. I can't believe we're at the 6th game already. Yeah. Oh yeah, if you don't know Higurashi, it's interesting. Interesting series that Yuki has been following for since the anime for a long time. But basically Yuki has been watching the anime of Higurashi for since when did the Higurashi anime come out? But Yuki never read the visual novels until like Yuki started doing this on stream. And right now Yuki's on the 6th one. It's fun trying to voice all of them, even though sometimes it's like it can hurt the throat sometimes, but that's fine. It's only once a month. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Mion. I recommend that you don't say that again. Kei-chan, you just said something very embarrassing, you know. After all that, Mion still made fun of me. I don't think I understand a little better why Dana was so serious about having fun. I want to be her best friend, and I want to do my best to be deserving of her effort. Dana snored. It sounded cute. Chia-sensei let her sleep in class, but she couldn't let her get away with the snoring. Class president, wake her up, please. Dana, get up. Ah! Dana was still half asleep and made a strange noise. Everyone in class laughed. Dana noticed they were laughing at her and woke up right away and acted like she wasn't sleeping at all. It looked really funny, and I burst into a fit of laughter. Outside the window, the sky was blue and the clouds were pure white. It was June, but it looked like the middle of the summer. This perfect weather wouldn't last forever. It could get cloudy and rain all of a sudden. That's why we have to play and raise a ruckus while we still have this perfect weather. The cries of the cicadas sound as if they're laughing at us because we still have some class left. Ah, damn it. I can't wait for school to finish. Keiichi-kun, you look very happy. Did something special happen today? Nothing. Today's today. Tomorrow's tomorrow, right? Yeah. I'm just happy we have perfect weather today. I don't care about the weather tomorrow. I want to enjoy it today as much as I can. When the weather changes, I don't want to regret that I didn't. I learned that from Nina. I learned that peaceful days are the happiest days you can have, and they are irreplaceable. Mion, what are we doing today for club activities? We need to do something for your excitement for the punishment too. That's the spirit I like, Kate-chan. Because you insist, I'll put you through a living hell. Kate-chiku, don't provoke her too much. Hey, you scared, Reina? I know you're better than that. Let's show her our true power again. Remember, we haven't brought our end to our last battle. I grinned at her and she grinned back. Haha, you do remember that. Okay, let's do it then. Reina-san, you certainly got me last time. For that, I must pay you back with interest. This is getting very interesting. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait for school to finish. I couldn't wait either, but that time we spent just talking together is also very precious. Yeah, it would be nice if school ended soon. My very favorite wine. Collateral, find an easy solution to a problem. Oh my god. Oh yeah, what do you call it? A bit of a warning. I guess too late right now. I don't think it'll happen. I think we're done with it for now. But it can get pretty violent. So yeah. But right now we're not there. But we passed that. So we passed that for now. Okay, let's read this. Satoko went to join the children while playing in the schoolyard. Since I didn't feel like going, I decided to stay at home. Most likely, she wouldn't come back until the evening. When Satoko wasn't around, I had ways of spending time without her. Besides, that was what I wanted to do anyway. I stuck my hand deep inside the pile of winter futons in the closet and pulled one out. Next, I filled a stylish-looking glass with ice. The ice made in the freezer smelled of chlorine, though, and it didn't taste good. Store-bought ice would be the best, but since Satoko kept asking me what I was using it for, I stopped buying it. But it might be worth spending time to think about a good excuse for that when it meant I would be able to enjoy ice without ever again smelling the chlorine. I filled the glass with mineral water and then poured a little bit of another liquid into the glass. Watching the color mix into the transparent water was a very pleasant thing. This wasn't the right way to drink it, but I liked it that way, and didn't want to hear any complaints. My body is very convenient because when I get drunk, because I can get drunk with only a tiny amount. That's why I dilute it with a full glass of water. Thanks to that, I could enjoy a single bottle for a long time. It wasn't bad. If you thought about it like that. I put a cushion on my favorite spot in the window, and with a glass in one hand, I enjoyed the familiar view and the soft wind brushing through my hair. A slightly sweet ripened aroma tickled my nose, and just like that, And just when I was about to start enjoying the atmosphere, the annoying one came back. She didn't like this bad habit of mine, and she complained every time I tilted the glass. She started nagging me noisily. Shut up. Be a little bit more tolerant. I can drink and eat whatever I want. You can't. Kids aren't supposed to drink alcohol. I tried to ignore her, but she started making a fuss, and as if trying to ruin the atmosphere on purpose. There's no way I could enjoy getting drunk like this. I glared at her, threw the drink out of the window. Do you want to know why I'm depressed? I'm depressed because the way I die has been decided. It seems like she's finally understood why I wanted to drown myself in alcohol. You don't have to feel down. I get to die instantly, so it's not that scary. My body will be burned and cut in pieces, but I'll be able to die instantly. But not yet. I know, not yet. When am I going to die again? I think it's the night of the 25th of June. It's about a week after the Watanagashi festival. Well, that sounds reasonable. Is it my fault? Of course it is. Are you serious? Oh. She was the one who asked me, yet she cried when I told her she was right. Ah, jeez, she's always so annoying. Let's keep trying. I'm sure I'll get 6 in a row in the next board game. June 25th. I still have 10 more days. I was going to relax and enjoy these 10 days. I still had some wine left too. Sotoko. I didn't know Sotoko, or not Sotoko, Satoshi drank. Oh yeah, one other thing is that it's been so long since Yuuki watched the Higurashi anime, so like stuff that happened in the anime I don't quite remember. Like this chapter is getting more blurry for Yuuki, or this game Tsumihoroboshi is a little bit more iffy or confusing for Yuuki, basically. Okay, let's try to get through one more chapter. It had been very hot for the past few days, and the corpses went rotting quickly. Any housewife knows how fast fresh meat can go bad. I know it too. That's why the first thing I did was to dismember the corpses. There was only one reason why I needed to dismember them. I had to reduce them to a portable size in order to carry them to a place where they'll never be found. When men see the word dismembered corpses, they'll probably feel disgusted because they don't cook. But housewives are used to cutting the guts out of fish, and sometimes they even see living maggots. They take care of the maggots off the food, or even cook it with the maggots still on. The heat will kill them after all. Women don't tell men what they do in the kitchen because men wouldn't eat the food if they knew. So it didn't really bother me much to dismember them. I was released from all my problems by killing them. Cleaning up the mess was like nothing to me because I got the freedom and regained my happiness. I dismembered the corpses using carpenter tools like a saw and a hatchet. I'm wearing a black sweatsuit that I bought for today because I thought I might get stained with blood. Bloodstains don't show on black fabric, and I can just throw it away after it's done. brought a plastic sheet I found in a dump because I thought blood might show otherwise. If I did the work on this sheet, I could just burn it after I was done. In the end, dismembering human corpses is no different from preparing food on the chopping board. Okay, remember I was wrong. I was tired from chopping apart 2 adult bodies, but I didn't have any problem doing it. I cut off their arms, legs, heads, dividing each body into 6 pieces. I heard before that blades get easily ruined by fat when you cut apart a corpse. So I brought many kinds of tools. And I was right. I didn't have to go back and forth between here and my house to get another tool in the middle of work. A long time ago, the construction manager was murdered and his body was dismembered here during the dam conflict. He was cut into 6 pieces in the same way. Well, I had 2 bodies, so there was double that though. I remember the main suspect was still on the loose, and the victim's arm he hid hadn't been found yet. I wonder where he hid it. I'd like to ask him. I smiled wryly. Like the arms, legs, and heads, the torsos were difficult to take care of. I thought about cutting them into smaller pieces, but I decided against it because I thought it'd be troublesome to clean up the guts. I put each piece in a black trash bag and sprayed on a lot of deodorant. I wasn't sure if that would help against the smell though. Many bugs flew around me while I was dismembering the corpses. After I finished putting all the pieces into each bag, the bugs were still flying around. But that was because they could smell the blood. After I cleaned everything, they were all gone. Now all I needed to do is to get rid of these 12 black bags. Burning them would be the easiest, but I don't think I can burn them into ashes without a cremator. The best way is to bury them somewhere. Other than the torsos, each piece is small enough to fit in my backpack. I could easily carry them without being noticed. I could throw them into the river running through the dam construction site. But if I did that, somebody could find them for sure. I've seen on the news several times before that a bag with a body part in it was found beside a river. Every time I heard something like that, I always thought the murder was stupid. I thought about dumping them into the Onigafuchi swamp, but rotten meat floats. I thought about weighing the bags, but there's no guarantee they stay down. So that left me one choice: to bury them. There are many unexplored mountains in the end of the abandoned districts around Yagouchi and Takatsudo. It's probably best to bury them somewhere in the mountains. Well, it would be safe to bury them here in the garbage dump. It's not perfectly safe. And so I'm gonna bury all of these bodies somewhere deep inside the mountain in order to completely erase the 2 of them. My joints hurt since I've been using muscles I don't normally use. I clean up the mess very carefully, and I get into my hideout. While still wearing the sweatshirt, I laid down on the mattress. I washed my hands carefully, but there was still dirt and blood under my nails. I should take a shower later and wash it off completely. When I say things like disposing of corpses, it sounds like I'm having the greatest evil of the century. But that's only true if I get caught. What I did isn't a crime as long as I don't get caught. Plus, I didn't do this because I wanted to commit a crime. I didn't do anything wrong. I did this to protect my father's life and mine. People might speak ill of me, but I don't care about them. In the end, I don't think anyone can really pass judgment on my sins. Sins aren't something to pass judgment on, they're something to confess and atone for. In other words, nobody can measure the weight of a sin another person other than the person who committed the crime. Do I feel regret for what I did? Do I feel sorry? No. Do I think I did anything wrong? I truly believe there is no better way than killing them. I'm sure it was the right thing because my life had already started to change since the night I killed them. A few days earlier, I just came home after killing Teppe. My father was cleaning the room that Teppe had trashed earlier. His eyes were swollen. He had been crying. Reina, where have you been? I was talking with him. I said, Hina-san will never come to our house again, so please leave us alone. Therefore, he'll never come back. I don't think he'll stay away from us that easily. You should watch out for him for a while, too. It's hard to explain to him why Teppe will never come back. I can't tell him that he shouldn't worry because I killed him. I grabbed ice cubes from the freezer, put them into a plastic bag, and handed it to my father. Here you go, Dad. Your cheeks are swollen. You must have only noticed it just then. Oh, thank you. Don't worry about cleaning up the mess. I'll do it. I'll get the vacuum cleaner. Reina, he called out to me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. They're making their living by deceiving people. You were just one of their targets. Reina, did you know who they were? Yeah, I only found out recently. I didn't tell you because I thought you wouldn't believe me. I'm sorry. He looked down. When he told me about how he wanted to get remarried, I told him that they were bad people and they scam others with badger games. But he didn't listen to me, so I was right in saying that he wouldn't have believed me at all. She took advantage of your pain. I'm a very bad father. Then he started talking about how he met Gina, as if trying to absolve his guilt. It was when he was suffering the most, and he needed to drink away his sorrow. At a bar he happened to go into, Gina-san was the one who came to his table. It was her job to be a good listener when customers talked. Gina must have been a great listener and offered words of comfort when he talked about the divorce. If he was emotionally stable, he could have taken it as a kindness that she was only offering at that time. But he was so desperate that he took it the wrong way. After that, the tragedy was inevitable. He wanted to believe that it was destiny, and he glamorized everything about her. It would be easy to laugh at him and say that he was dreaming, but I don't blame him. Because being weak is also part of being human. He had plenty of opportunities to grow suspicious of her questionable habits. But my father just read even that behavior as an attempt to cheer him up. He bought everything she asked him to, and Nina had lended her catch. He shouldn't have brought his lover to the house where his daughter lived. But he was crazy about her, and he didn't even think about it. I'd forgotten that I was a father first. What was I thinking? He started crying. I held his shoulders gently. It's okay. You realized it at the end. You're my father no matter what. You're the only family I have. He couldn't stop moaning. We held each other and cried together. The next day, my father got up early in the morning. He was already cooking breakfast when I got up, and he told me, "Your father is going to get his act together from today onward." Ah! Dad, you should have used salad oil before you cooked them up sunny side up. Ah! It's been a long time since I cook. He pried off the burning eggs on the pan with a spatula, and he added salad oil to it. It was too late. Doing that just made it an even bigger mess, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to eat his eggs. I waited at that table quietly. He put the burned eggs on the table and brought them over to me. It looked like he tried to salvage them by adding cheese, but it didn't really work. Still, it smelled good and crispy. It actually stimulated my appetite. Thick cut toast popped out of the toaster. I made coffee with extra milk and sugar because my father liked it sweet. We put everything on the table. It looked terrible, like the cooking class of an elementary school. But to me, it was precious. Because my father tried very hard to make it, wearing the apron. Great, it smells good. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. It smells good. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. It might be better that you do the cooking. I feel bad making you eat this. I'll take care of the cooking when you take care of getting a job. It had been taboo to talk about work in our house. He hadn't worked since the divorce. It wasn't only because of the divorce though. He just didn't have to work because of the settlement my mother gave him was so huge. Plus, I let him be lazy because I felt guilty about the divorce, but my father cleared his wrongdoing by showing repentance to me. And I also atoned for my sin of not doing anything about my mother by doing what I did the previous night. Now we are free of sin. I'm going to try to find for a job. I'm thinking about going to the employment service agency today. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's not the money that he wanted. He just needed a normal lifestyle. I'm old and not very strong, but I'm a bit worried if I can find a job at all. What kind of job are you looking for? I prefer desk job, but I don't think a lot of companies would offer one to an old man like me. I can ask my friend. Mi-chan's the daughter of a big landowner in Hinamizawa, so she might be able to find you something. No, it's okay. I'll find it. I'll do it myself. I have to man up, you know. I don't remember the last time we enjoyed lunch like this, or breakfast like this. I don't even remember the last time we had breakfast together. For the first time in a long time. The morning light felt refreshing. I wanted to keep enjoying life like this, but unfortunately I had to go to school. I told him that I'd skip school that day, and that I wanted to take him to take me somewhere fun, but he tried to be a good father and said I had to go to school. Well, I have to go now. Okay, have a good day at school. He followed me to the front door. I was a bit embarrassed for some reason. He talked to me while I was tying my shoes. He followed me not because he wanted to see me off, but because he wanted to tell me something. I've been sad ever since your mother divorced me, but I realized that I shouldn't be sad because I view Reina. I didn't have to feel sad at all. Dad, that's what family is about. Yes, you're right. Again, I'm not a good father because I had to learn something that's simple and important from my own daughter. Well, I have to go now. Keiichi-kun is waiting for me. Have a good day. Oh, Reina, I'm gonna cook dinner tonight. I'll do the grocery shopping on the way back from the employment service agency. Look forward to it. I promise I won't feel like that, like I did just now. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. See you tonight. I left the house. My father saw me off, still in the apron. It was the first step of our new life. I finally regained it. I finally regained everything we lost after we left Hinamizawa. My mother wasn't around, but I didn't feel sad because I had my father. The cries of the cicadas sounded like if they were celebrating my new life. The sunshine was bright and the wind was sending up a nice breeze. The only thing that wasn't nice was the ticking clock. I was late because I spent too much time talking to my father. Keiichi-kun might be gone already. I don't think he'd wait for me that long. But he was there anyway. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. I usually make you wait. So it's okay that I wait once in a while. We're really gonna be late. We should walk fast, I think. Kana? Yeah, let's walk fast. We might have to run at the end. Mi-chan might already be gone. She's waiting for sure. We're friends. We never leave each other behind, right? Anyway, did something good happen this morning? What? Why do you ask that? Well, you look very happy for some reason. I just thought maybe something good happened to you. The good mood I was in must have been too obvious for Keiichi-kun to ignore. Not only did I have my family, but my friends too. I felt something warm spreading in my heart. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened this morning. My father made breakfast, but what? Isn't that the right way to cook eggs? You use salad oil to make making salads, don't you? What? I have to tell everyone you just said that. What did you say? Those rude marks are unforgivable. Fine, bring it. If you're saying that, then you're willing and ready to throw it down, aren't you? Hey, what's going on? Satoko, Kei-chan, why don't you two place an outside bet on our cloud activities today? It'll be fun. Mi-chan, what's an outside bet? What is it? An outside bet means what it says. But Satoko and I would place a bet on each other outside the game. The one who played worse than the other has to suffer an extra punishment besides the normal one. That means I get to see one of you suffer no matter who loses today. So what do you say, Satoko? That sounds like a wonderful idea to me. Kate will take a punishment for being the lowest ranked in the game, and another punishment for losing to me. Ah, well, how wonderful. Great, I like your spirit, Satoko. Alright, let's play today's game with an outside bet. It's more fun to think about punishments than to think about the game itself. It sure is. I can't wait to see how miserable Satoko is gonna look after she takes her punishment. Keep dreaming, Keiichi-san. Ah! Take that! Stop it! Ah! Stop fighting, you two. The game hasn't even started yet. Chie-sensei opened the door and came in. Take your seats, everyone. Let's start homeroom, and then you can all go home. Everyone headed to their seats. Mi-chan! Huh, what? I'm sorry to ruin the mood, but I have to go home. I have things to do again today. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry you have to go. Are you busy with housework or something? Yep. Well, the snowman has no right to stop you when it comes to housework. I don't do housework myself. Our housekeepers do. You should help them sometimes. It'll be a good training for married life. Don't worry about that. I already have that kind of skill, you know? To be a good wife. Mi-chan looks like the kind of girl who tries to stay away from chores as much as possible. But she can actually do everything. That's just who she is. She went through hard times to learn those things. But she acts like she learned them without any struggle. That's also who she is. I like that about her. What? Are you going home, Nena? Said you wouldn't see Keiichi-san go to the teacher's office wearing an embarrassing uniform. What a shame. It's gonna be fun. Pity you'll have to miss it. Yeah, I'm sorry. You went home right after school for housework yesterday too. Did something happen? Yeah, kind of. It might take me a few more days. Well, then I guess you can't join us for a while. Maybe. I'll try to finish as soon as I can. Can we help out with the thing you have to do? If it's something like carrying old furniture, let me know. I can help you with that. Are you redecorating the house? This old man can bring lots of help for that. I have an idea. Can we make a game out of helping her out with her housework? At this work, the person who doesn't end up helping her will be the winner. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. Well, it does seem like there's nothing we can do. Therefore, I announce you good. I announce your door from the front lines as of today. I order you to take a rest until you finish your housework, and return to the front as soon as you've regained your strength. Well, there are many games for four. Oh, can you play Mahjong, Kei-chan? Yeah, my dad sometimes forces me to play Mahjong with him and his friends from work. I still have never used my Higurashi Mahjong set. Of course we're good at Mahjong as well. After that, they fooled around and made lots of noise, just like they always do. I looked at them and reminded myself that I always have a place to return to. I left the classroom with a smile. I was going to Yogouchi bicycle. I had to find a place to bury the bags with the body parts. Hopefully I could finish burying them all today before it gets dark. With that, everything would be over and done with. I don't like that the back of the tiles are made of bamboo. You guys haven't marked them, or have you? I wouldn't be too sure. Katie-san, you sound traumatized by the experience you had with our card game. Well, I think there are some scratches on them. They're cheap ones, you know. But it's more fun when there's an element of doubt, don't you think? Me? How many reds do you want to use? 6? Ika-chan sounded professional, but it scared me. Oh well, I should start checking the tiles. What's wrong with my family? From playing it as a club activity, I have to be cautious. It's possible that one tile is missing, or that there's one extra of a particular tile in there. We don't do things like that. Still, that is interesting. I didn't think about that. Let's see. Let's put them all face up on the table and check them before we start the game. Come on. Everyone flip the tiles face up. Huh? One dragon's missing. One Lopin and one Loso are missing too. Oh, one low one is also missing. What's going on? There's so many missing tiles. Oh, I remember. Hold on a second. Mion hid the palm of her hand with her fist, moved her chair aside, and stuck her finger into a gap in the floorboards. She then pulled out the tile from there. There you go. This is a dragon. I don't remember where I put the other 3. Wait, Mion? Why are there so many tiles hidden in the classroom? Yeah. Well, you know. She must have hidden the other 3 tiles somewhere in the classroom and forgotten where. We couldn't play Mahjong with 3 missing tiles. I suggested playing another game, but Mion insisted that we find them and suggested making that treasure hunt our game. As long as I can make Keiichi-san suffer punishment, I care little as to what kind of game we play, but to be honest with you, I prefer to play something more interesting than that. I agree. Plus, you're not sure where they are in the classroom, right, Mion? Nope, they're here. Or maybe this old man might have put them in his pockets and left them in the washing machine. I don't remember. I recommend checking the total number of tiles that after we play mahjong with me next time. Everyone except me agreed in nodded in agreement. What? You don't want to play our classroom talenting game? In other words, cleaning the mess Mion made so she could cheat? Do yourself. Don't use club activities for personal excuses. Fine. So what do you want to do? We can't play mahjong now. What are we gonna play then? Does anyone have any ideas? As our club president, Mion usually decides what we'll play. I couldn't come up with something on the spot. Well, while we're all thinking, Mion hit her palm with her fist, just like she did earlier. I got an idea. If you don't want to hunt for tiles, let's do a real treasure hunt. What name comes to your mind when it comes to treasure hunting? They know, right? You mean, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You mean we're going to the garbage dump at the the dam construction site? I don't really go there often, but the place is large. I heard that place is haunted by the ghost of a man who was murdered there. His body was cut into pieces. We shouldn't go near. A ghost? I like it. That's even better. I didn't know there was a rumor like that. I didn't know that someone was murdered there and that the main suspect's on the loose. He hid the arm of the victim and hasn't been found yet. Right. There's a rumor that the construction site manager, the victim of the dismemberment murder case, became a ghost, and that he was wandering around the place to find his missing arm. Nika, you don't like ghosts? Don't tell me you're scared of ghosts. I'm a shrine maiden. I can see them even if I don't want to. Wow, you can see ghosts, if I remember right? I heard those who can see spirits see them naturally as they do us. That's utterly ridiculous. I've been living with you. That's utterly ridiculous. I've been living with Rika for a long time. I've never seen anything like that. That's just because you can't see them, but I can. For example, when you're asleep in your bed, I always see... Ipa! Rika! Why did you smile like that? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What did you see when I'm sleeping? Sotoko, I feel sorry for you. You can pretend you're not scared of ghosts during the day, but I'm pretty sure you get scared of ghosts when it gets dark. I'm gonna make a silent phone call right now just to scare the hell out of her. Including myself, I don't think anyone really likes going there. Nina's the only one that does. If Nina finds a ghost, when she's in her kawaii mode, she might take it home with her. That's so true. She'd say, "Oh, omochikaeri." That was easy to imagine that all of us laughed? Well, let's do it. Let's go treasure hunting. If you find a ghost, you win. If you get a point, if you find the victim's missing right arm. And you also get a point. And you also get a point if you find anything that Rena would like. We can show what we found to Rena later, and we'll let her decide who's the winner. Oh ho ho ho! I can't wait. I can't wait to win the game and make Keiichi-san take double the punishment. Hey Sotoko, are you sure you're gonna win? Are you sure you wanna win? That means you're gonna see the ghost. Stop it! You're getting on my nerves. I don't wanna go there. I'm scared of ghosts too. What do you mean you're scared of ghosts too? Who else are you referring to? I'm not scared at all. Hey, Keiichi-san, stop doing that. Let's go, everyone. Let's find the ghost. Woo! Oh no! That's not good, right? It'll be over with. Everything will be over and done with. Yes, it'll be over when the Higurashi cry. Oh, I have a really, really bad feeling. So that's it. Anna finished making her confession. There was no applause or curtain call. It was a quiet and lonely stage that Anna performed on alone. I forgot to blink since her confession started. Everyone seemed to be feeling the same way. Rena looked at us like she was a teacher waiting for questions from her students. We noticed that she was imitating what Tia-sensei does at the end of class, when we all smiled bitterly. I went to Yaguchi earlier to find a place to bury these bags. It was hard to pick a place because I wanted to make sure that no one would ever find them. I even thought about burying them in my backyard because it might be the safest. But after I thought about it, I knew that wouldn't work. My father might start planting vegetables one day, and he might find them. So it might be better that I bury them somewhere in the mountains. Plus, I don't ever want to let her near my father, even though she's dead. I felt like I did something very bad. Rena's plan was going smoothly. If I'd only haunted for the mahjong tiles instead of insisting of doing something else, this wouldn't have happened. Oh, of course. Of course it happened. When I looked at the others, they all seemed to be regretting their actions too. If Mion hadn't come up with the idea to play in the garbage dump, if Satoko hadn't found the broken refrigerator, if Rika-chan had convinced us not to go, then I could have had a few more days, and she could have gotten rid of those trash bags. They never would have been found. Then, what would have happened next? Nothing. Everything would have remained the same. We could have kept having happy and peaceful days. Rena had been through a tough time, but she'd been forcing her face into a smile for us. The fake smile was supposed to become a real smile one day. None of us was supposed to notice that Rena was going through a hard time. After a while, Rena was supposed to be able to forget the bitter memory of killing those two. And she was supposed to live life as if nothing had happened. But now, all of her effort, all of her courage had been ruined.
I know killing people is a bad thing to do. I didn't want to do this, and I don't want to do it again in the future. But I believe this was the best solution. And I also believe I didn't do anything wrong. I just applied my utmost efforts when God presented me with an equal opportunity to regain my happy, peaceful life. Saying we should accept suffering and live in material life without desires is nothing more than pretty words from those who have plenty. Nobody can belittle my efforts. Rather, they should praise me for what I did. They should celebrate me. Yuuki Rena fought for her own fate. And she won!
I don't know why I did it, but I interrupted her. I shouldn't have, but I thought I needed to tell her this, so I did. But Rena, why? Why didn't you tell us?
What do you mean?
We're friends, aren't we? Friends are always on your side without exception, no matter what. I thought friends were like family. If you told us about it, we could have helped you. Then you wouldn't have had to get your hands dirty. What Rena told us made me sad. I couldn't help myself from saying that to her. Rena told us straight that she did the best she could. She told us that right to our faces. That's the same thing as saying that she didn't need us in order to do the best she could.
Kei-chan, you can say that now, but...
Wait, let me finish. I believe that friends are there to share both happiness and hardships. If you came to talk to us, I believe we could have done something different, and we could have led you to a better future.
A better future? There's no better future than what I have right now. This is the best possible future.
That's a lie! My shout seemed to scare her a little bit. I knew that Rena didn't believe that this was the best possible future. She just didn't have any other choice. If she had other choices, she definitely wouldn't have chosen this one. I know you don't believe that because you're crying.
What? Who's crying? Me? I'm not crying.
Yes, you are. You've been crying the whole time. You haven't noticed it? In fact, I didn't see any tears in her eyes or on her face at all. But that didn't mean she wasn't crying. Rena was crying. She was crying because she was driven into a corner after all the hard work she did to become happy. Her tears looked so sad. Anyone who couldn't see those tears wasn't really thinking about her.
I'm not crying. I won't cry. I did the right thing. I did the right choice. There's no reason for me to cry. That's ridiculous. I have no idea what you're talking about, Keiichi.
I know that you're crying right now. Nina stopped laughing all of a sudden, and she spoke with a cold expression on her face.
Okay, let's say I did what you just told me. I told you about my father and that woman. Then what?
Whoa.
Then what? Huh?
Nana never talked to me like this before. It was like she was mocking my ignorance, and that made me shut my mouth.
You know what happened last year?
Last year?
Yeah, last year. It happened in June of 1982. There was someone who had no choice but to kill a person to free himself from his misfortune.
Satoko gasped.
Keiichi-kun, I don't think you know much about him, but about Hojo Satoshi-kun.
I know that he's Satoko's older brother. He's been missing, but people say he transferred. There's a rumor that he killed his aunt for Satoko's sake. Therefore, it's been taboo to talk about Satoshi in my class, actually in all of Hinamizawa.
Satoshi-kun was under the same conditions as I was. He just wanted to have a happy and peaceful days. He just wanted to live peacefully and quietly with his sister. You heard what kind of person Satoko-chan's aunt was, haven't you?
If what I heard was true, this is what happened. After Satoko lost her parents, her uncle and her aunt got custody of her and her brother, but they were miserable people. Her aunt was especially cruel to Satoko. Satoshi was the kind of guy who wouldn't hurt a fly. But his aunt probably was the only one whom he didn't have a problem killing. That's how terrible a person she was.
Everyone in Hinamizawa knew about the trouble the Hojo family had. Everyone knew that their aunt was a hysterical and crazy person, and that she bullied Satoshi-kun and Satoko-chan. Everyone knew. Everyone knew everything. Everyone in our class knew it too. Mi-chan, the future head of the three families, knew it. Rika-chan knew it. And Satoko-chan knew it too, of course, because she was the one experiencing it. The friends you were talking about knew what Satoshi-kun was going through more than anybody in Hinamizawa. And what happened? Did anyone help Satoshi-kun? No, nobody did. Mi-chan had the most influence out of all of us, but she made up a lame excuse saying that it might create conflict between the Sonozaki family and the villagers. And at the end, all she did was hurting him by offering her sympathy. That's so true. Yes, it is! Satoshi-kun knew it too. He knew that you were only pretending to sympathize with him. He knew that you had no intention of helping him. That's why Satoshi-kun started to hate you, Mi-chan. He said that you always told him that you were his friend, but after all that, you turned out to be just another Sonozaki. Just another person who bullied the Hojo family. I didn't mean to. You didn't do anything to help him. You rejected his request for help by sympathizing with him. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? Mion tried to find something to say, but failed to do so. She bit her lip instead. Rika-chan, you were the same too.
Rina was pointing fingers at Rika-chan. Like Mio and Rika-chan looked emotionless and empty, just like Rina did.
Rika-chan, you had the kind of power in Hinamizawa that Mi-chan does. But you don't have the kind of power in Hinamizawa that Mi-chan does. But your work carries a lot of weight with the old people who came to your shrine, don't they? There was something you could have done for him, but you didn't. Rika-chan, you did exactly the same thing as Mi-chan did. You just pretend to be his friend. All you did was sympathize with him and Sotoko-chan. You didn't try to help them out of the trouble they were in. Can you imagine how cruel and merciless your sympathy was to them? Satoshi-kun wanted help. He wanted somebody to help him. He was at a dead end and couldn't get out of there by himself. He was sinking all the way down to his neck in the swamp, reaching for help and waiting for someone to grab his hand. You're right. Rika-chan's voice sounded mature. It was very different from how she usually sounded. I didn't know how to save them. All I could do was offer them some consultation. I'm not gonna deny it, nor am I gonna make excuse for my sin. I'm not trying hard enough to try to find a way to save them. I didn't know you knew. Rina gave her a twisted smile. That ugliness caused me to look away. And Sotoko-chan, I don't know if you believe me when I say this, but you're weighed down with sin too.
I don't understand why she was blaming Sotoko. I tried to take her side, but I gasped in surprise when I looked at her. She looked like she was accepting the sin that Rina-chan mentioned. Sotoko must have wanted to confess her sin before Rina pointed out to her. And so Sotoko opened her mouth first.
I don't know if you'll believe me when I tell you this either, but I really realized it on my own. I know what my sin is.
I see.
I realized it on the night Nini disappeared. I wish I realized it while I was still there. I understand how you feel. I sense that it was too late for regrets, right? I feel the same way. It happened to me before. That's why I fought this time. Satoko-chan, I'm sure that you can atone for your guilt in the future because you realize what you did. But it won't bring Nini back. He's not coming back.
Sotoko looked down sadly. Usually, Sotoko would say the opposite. She always said that Satoshi was coming back one day without a doubt. But now, she accepted the fact that he would never return. She accepted it easily, as if she knew it already, because he's her brother.
Do you understand now?
She asked me all of a sudden.
That's how they were in 1982. Satoshi-kun tried talk to everyone he could to help him. He told them that he needed help. He told them what he was going through. He consulted with them. He even came to me, even though I just moved here at that time. I don't think it was embarrassing or shameful that he did that. people get desperate when they're unhappy. Satoshi-kun tried very hard, but he couldn't do anything about his situation, and he asked for help, and he kept asking for help. He said that friends are always there on your side no matter what, but this is what friends really are. They're actually people you hang out with for fun. They don't actually they don't help you when you need them. Friends are always like that. That's why I decided not to tell anyone when I found out I was in the same situation as Satoshi-kun. I knew that nobody would help me, and nobody could. I didn't need any sympathy. It only made me worse. It's better that I at least have fun at school. In fact, I did have fun at school. I was very happy. I was able to forget about the trouble that I had with that woman, even if only for a short while at school. I wish Satoshi-kun could have done that too. If he did, he wouldn't have had to feel constantly hopeless, and he could have at least enjoyed his time at school. He didn't have any other choice than to beat his aunt to death anyway. I didn't know how to help him at the time because I just moved here. All I could do was listen to him and try to make him feel better, but there might have been something I could have done. I might have been lazy in thinking about what I could do, but at that time in 1982, I thought I was his friend. Then a self-delirious laughter changed into grievous sobs. Her tears gradually wore away at our friendship of trust. Nobody will help me. Friends are just people whom you have fun with. You can't trust them. The more Rena cried, the clearer we could hear her voice in her heart. Neon, Sotoko, and Nika-chan look into the distance with sad expressions on their faces. I was the only one who could say anything back to her now. I had to tell her this, and she knew it too. She needed to hear it from somebody. I braced myself to tell her something that might hurt everyone. I understand, Rena. I understand what happened in 1982. Huh? I understand that they were heartless. But Sotoko also told you this. They realized their sins. They regretted what they did and didn't do. So it should be different this time. They can understand your pain, and they can help you. You weren't here last year. I'm afraid you don't know what you're talking about. That's right. I wasn't here last year. I wish I were. If I was here last year, I would have fought for Satoshi. You're lying! I'm not lying. I learned how important friends are since I moved to Inamizawa. I will fight for my friends. If I was here last year, I knew what Satoko's aunt did to her and Satoshi.
I wouldn't have given Satoshi the opportunity to beat her to death. I would have done it myself. I would have done it in 1500 seconds. I wouldn't have even hesitated. I would have beaten her to death with a metal bat.
That's easy for you to say, but you don't know the kind of determination you need to kill another person.
I don't know that, and I don't need to know that either. You know why? Because it's an obligation to help your friends.
You don't understand, Keiichi-kun! You don't understand how disgusting it is to kill a person! You can never get rid of the dirt on your hands, no matter how hard it is to justify it!
You're right. Killing a person in order to save your friends is such short-sighted way of thinking. It might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I think things aren't meant to go well even when you take care of an evil matter by doing an evil deed. I'm proud of my conviction that I couldn't hesitate to kill a person for the sake of my friends, but the peace I get by doing an evil deed won't last forever. We all know that by instinct. That's why we all despise evil things, I think.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
She didn't have to tell me that. I was aware I wasn't making any sense.
But
for some reason, I could easily imagine a world like that. A world in which I save my precious friends by committing an evil act. The peace I seized by doing that evil deed didn't last long. It got worse. It ended in a way as terrible as the sin I committed. This was a memory that shouldn't exist. I don't know why, but I know for a fact that it happened in a world of possibility.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. By the way, for those that don't know, what Keiichi-kun is talking about was something that happened during the last game. For some reason, I couldn't prevent myself from smiling in embarrassment, even in a situation like this. But you know it too, Reina. Don't you, Reina? You know that you didn't want to get your hands dirty. You're crying because you wanted to help us. You wanted us to help you, but we didn't. You didn't want to be a murderer. You're lying when you claim that this was the best choice you could have made. That's why you've been crying.
That's not true! That's not true! That's not true! That's not true! That's not true!
You know better than anyone if it's true or not. You've been regretting this from the beginning. Even if you're able to hide the corpses without getting caught, you could never have washed the blood off your hands. How are you gonna fool yourself into believing that you won't have to live the rest of your life bearing that burden of your sin? There's only one way to do that. You have to believe that this was the only choice. This means you have to live your life denying your friends, and denying your friends are worth asking for help. Are we worth nothing to you, Rena? Of course not. You always believe friends exist to help each other. Your friends were immature last year. That's why they couldn't help Satoshi from his unfortunate fate. But people grow up. We don't make the same mistake twice. We don't want to regret the same thing twice. So, believe me, we're your friends. We're on your side.
So what you're saying is that I was immature too, right?
Yeah, I am. You're immature because you couldn't believe your friends grew up. But I'm not gonna blame you for that. We didn't notice until today that you've been going through such a hard time all alone. People can communicate their feelings only by talking to others. So there's nothing we can do because we didn't talk. In that sense, it's hard to say that. It's hard to say it, but we have to admit that this was meant to happen today in order to make your choice the best one for real. We finally talk about our feelings. We now know that you've been distrusting your friends since last year, and that everyone regretted both what they did and what they didn't do. So now, we finally became true friends.
Finally. But it's too late. We only notice our sins after it's too late.
That's not necessarily true. For example, as your friend, I understand the things you've done this time.
What do you mean by that?
I understand that depriving people of their lives is an unforgivable crime. But I also understand that my friend Elena had no other choice but to do this. So, I don't think you're filthy, and I'm not scared of you. If something like this happens again, we should talk and think about what we can do together. But this already happened, and I understand that. When I say understand, I mean, I forgive you. I don't hate you for what you did. I said that to everyone this time. I said it to all of my friends. I accept what Rina did. I accept that she had no choice other than to do this. And that was this was her last resort after thinking it through many times. So, I'm gonna side with her.
Kei-chan.
Of course, if she killed them for money or some other stupid reason, I'd drag her to the police. But this isn't why Rena did this. She couldn't run away. Or she thought she thought it through before she came to this point. If she's guilty or anything, she's only guilty for not talking to us about it beforehand. But I forgive her on that too. I forgive her for coming to this point.
Keiichi.
So, I beg all of you, please forgive me for not noticing it in the situation and for letting her go through it alone. My sin is that I allowed a day like today to come to pass.
Keiichi-san.
We're the only ones who know about these bags. If we keep it to ourselves, everything will be fine. Nana doesn't have to worry about a thing. Let's hide them somewhere like she planned. We'll cleanse ourselves with salt later, and that's it. Let's forgive each other for our sins, and then we'll regain our happy and peaceful days. This is it, right? Nana, this is the future you chose, right? This is the best possible choice, right?
Keiichi-kun.
I jumped on the hood of the abandoned car Nana was standing on, and I reached for her hands. Admit it, this is the world that you wanted. This is the choice that you wanted to make, but this is something you can't choose by yourself. all of us have to reach for each other's hands so that Rena can make that choice. In other words, I can't make it happen all by myself. I need everyone to reach for each other's hands. So, Rena, you need to do it too. When all of us hold hands together, that's when you can go to the world that exists beyond the choice you made.
Keiichi-kun, I appreciate it. If you really meant it. But I'm not sure if that's what everyone else wants.
A little hand touched mine. It was Rika-chan. Rika-chan!
Rena,
You're not filthy.
you didn't give up. You seized your faith, even though you'd had to dirty your hands to do it. I have no reason not to accept you.
Rika-chan's hands was strong. Rika-chan's small hand was strong, and she spoke eloquently. I know how comfortable it feels to be stained at by disappointment and everything in this world after getting lost in a maze of misfortune. That's why I can understand how strong you are and how you fought alone without giving up. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of having you in my life. I agree with Keiichi. I forgive you for your sin, so please forgive me for mine too.
Rika-chan.
I'm just a little girl without any power, but I could have fought. I'll not give up on my fate. I'll fight like you did. So, I ask you to accept me as your friend. Rika-chan usually acts childish, but now she was like a totally different person. She meant every word she was saying. And then another little hand reached out to ours.
Satoko.
Satoko put her hand over mine and Rika-chan. She didn't say anything, looking down for a while. Rika-chan urged her to speak.
Rika-chan and I lost both of our parents. We never cried about it. However, because we have you, a family made of friends. I want us to continue to be a family for you. It's natural to get it all out and confess to everything to your family because, well, they are your family. So, I think today was a great opportunity for us. I appreciate that we had a chance to forgive each other for our sins. A family made of friends. Satoko, I like that. I forgive you for your sin, Rena-san. Please forgive me for mine too. A big hand reached out for ours. It was Mion's. I always thought my job as the leader of this club. Always thought it was my job as leader of this club to talk about the importance of friends. So I guess I'm not that good of a leader after all, huh? Mion. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you. Mion still smiled and scratched her head. Nana, I'm ashamed of myself. As your friend, and as the club president, for not being able to notice what you've been through. I'd like you to forgive me for that. Of course, I also forgive you for not telling us about it. You couldn't tell me because I wasn't good enough for you. I thought I was trying to be a good leader for you, but I guess I wasn't doing my job. It's all my fault, so I forgive you for your sin, Rena.
Dana, now you have all of our hands. We're all ready for you. It's your turn. Reach out for us. Come to us. This is the world you wanted. You have all of our hands here for you to reach. So don't hesitate.
I'm a murderer. I'll get you guys into trouble.
Dana, we are.
Rika-chan, you don't need to say anything.
We're all reaching your hand. What else do we need to say or prove? Dana, you don't need to say anything. All you need to do is reach out for us.
Ah,
Come on, Rena, this is real. It's not too late. You still have choices you can make, so choose. You can still make it. Come on. It's not too late to start over again. Rena slowly reached out, and her hand touched ours. She didn't hold our hands. All she needed to do was touch our hands to show us her will. Rena-chan chose to live, to share her life with her friends, rather than to refuse them for the rest of her life. I took a step closer to her and firmly grabbed her wrist. It was getting dark, and some stars had appeared in the sky. We all forgave each other for our sins for the first time. And it was a little embarrassing, but Rena's tears made us all cry. And we just kept crying together. We all stood in a circle, holding each other by the shoulder and putting our hands together in the middle. We are a family made of friends. We forgave each other, and we're happy together. There's a memory in the back of my mind, but it's not supposed to exist. I tried to save one of my friends in that world. In order to do that, I rejected all of my other friends. I acted recklessly alone, and I brought about the end of the world. The situation we had here is the same as the situation from that faraway world. In a sense, that people have been deprived of their lives in order to save one friend of mine. But other than that, it was different. We have Rena, Mion, Satoko, Ika-chan, and myself. Nobody was missing. We were going to regain them. We were going to regain those happy and peaceful days. The road going there might be a little rough, but we'll walk it together. We all will. We went to the place in the mountains of Yaguchi that Rena had picked for burying the bags. Carrying the corpse is a scary thing to do, but it made us more united more strongly because of that. Since each part of the corpse is in a separate plastic trash bag, we can tell what's inside each of the bag by touching it. First, we forced ourselves to laugh whenever we had to touch the bodies because we were scared, but after a while, we got used to it, to the point where we could make jokes about it. Of course, all of that was probably a bluff, but we all tried our best. Mion somehow had detailed knowledge of how to hide corpses, and she told me to dig a hole deeper. Dika-chan helped to carry the bags. Satoko used her talent of setting traps to perfectly camouflage the place where we buried the bags. Me? I was in charge of digging the hole. Dina dug it earlier, but I made it a little deeper. After we finished all that, We walked back to the place where we parked our bicycles and we looked back at the place where we buried the bags. It was completely unnoticeable. We'd never be able to find the place again once we left for home. That's how perfect it looked. Great! Thank you for all your hard work. We're done here. It's time to go home. Neon said it cheerfully, as if we finished club activities or something. We had no more bags to carry, and we no longer had any burden to carry either. We rode on our bicycles, but Rena was still standing there, looking into the distance. Hey, Rena.
What? I'm sorry. I think I caught a cold or something. I feel feverish and dizzy.
Rena's face looked slightly red. Milan touched Rena's forehead. It was actually a little warm. She had a tough day today. She had to go through so many things. She had to find a place to hide the corpses. She had to dig a hole. We caught her with the bags. We talked about our feelings. We forgot and we forgave each other. She must be exhausted after a day like that. Rena, you should go home. You should rest home when you get home.
Yes, thank you. I will.
Rena, we forgave each other for everything, so don't blame yourself anymore, okay?
You're right about me.
What do you mean?
I couldn't fool myself. No matter how hard I tried to justify what I did, I was still scared. Look at me. I'm still shaky, even with all the help I got from you. If you hadn't found me with the corpses, I'd taken care of this alone. I wouldn't have been able to bear the burden. I'm pretty sure I would have been crushed by the pressure.
She said this all with a bitter smile. It might take her a long time to heal from the pain, but it must have been 100 times shorter than the time it would have taken if she'd done this all alone. Rena's home was the closest from here. Rena went her way, and the four of us were left behind. Leon made a suggestion. I think we should just forget about today. What do you think?
I agree. I think it would be best for Rena-san too. Rena's a strong girl. If we act like nothing happened, she'll act that way too.
If we keep acting for long enough, it becomes real, right? We'll be able to forget by not talking about it. Our goal is to forget about it completely.
I think we'll keep wondering whether or not the day of reckoning will come for the rest of our lives.
You're probably correct. It's not going to be as easy as to simply let it go. Even if I can't forget about it for the rest of my life, that's fine with me. The most important thing is to keep it in my heart forever. The most important thing is that we don't make her think about it. We nodded in agreement just as my house came into view. Well, this is goodbye. See you at school, just like always.
Just like always. I'll set a perfect trap for you just like always. Goodbye, Kei-chan.
Hold on, let me I'll be back in a little bit. Let me grab some water.
ちょっと待ってにゃー。
Ah, Yuki suck. Yeah, Yuki needed to, what do you call it? Get some water. But I don't know how much longer this will be. I just don't want to. I ran out of water and I didn't want to get to a situation where Yuki was dehydrated again. So I. Okay. I think that's good. Hi. Okay. Hi.
After I parted with them, I still felt hot and dizzy. It felt really weird. I was even staggering to the front door. It felt as if I was floating in the air, like I just took some very strong cold medicine. Today, something very shocking, something that made me super happy, and something very embarrassing happened to me. I felt as if my heart and my mind were about to explode because they were both filled to the brim with both happiness and sadness. I don't know whether I made a crucial mistake today, or if I had the happiest day of my life. I don't know which it is, and all I could do was stare blankly into space. I felt frustrated too. Even though they were my friends, I was caught in the act of abandoning the corpses. But at the same time, I felt relieved that my reliable friends accepted what I did. Those emotions were all mixed up in my heart, and they were equally strong, making it difficult for me to decide what I was feeling. I was losing my sense of balance. It was like the world was warping around me. I heard the sounds as if I was in the shower. Everything left me with a feeling of unreality. When those emotions were about to make me lose control, I felt a heat on my wrist. The part where Keiichi-kun grabbed me earlier started throbbing. My feelings weren't cooperating with me, but the heat on my wrist calmed me down for me. I don't know how to express what I felt when my friends and I held shoulders together in the circle earlier. But the feeling was the only thing I knew to be real. I'm home, huh? As soon as I opened the front door, I smelled it. It smelled really good. My father isn't good at cooking, but he likes trying to cook creative dishes. I remember he used to cook something very challenging when he was in a good mood. So the smell was a sign that he felt that way. That's why I always liked this smell. The reason he's in a good mood is because he found a job. Not just any job. He found a job with a company created by friends from his old workplace. He remembered my father and promised to hire him. He told me that some of his other colleagues from the old company are also working there. It must have been very encouraging for him to work with people he knows because he hasn't worked for a long time. The dinner looked great in contrast to how it tasted. It was a dinner to celebrate his new life, to show his determination to regain his bond with his daughter and to make a clean start. I talked about a lot of things with my father that night. It had been a long time since the last time I talked to him like this. I don't remember when it was, but it reminded me of the days I was still happy, which meant that I finally returned to that time. My
My father still believes that Teppei is coming back one day, so he's still very cautious about locking the doors and windows. And he gets scared every time someone rings the doorbell. Hey, kid, how are you doing? I told him so many times that they'd never come back, but I couldn't convince him because I couldn't tell him the reason that why they won't. He'll eventually realize that he's free. I'm sure it won't take too long. My heart was full of many, many emotions that day. If emotion could actually burst a heart open, it might happen to me. My brain must have been overworked because so many things happened at once. My head was still fuzzy, but I managed to crawl into bed. I felt like the ground was moving. I totally lost a sense of reality. I remember that once I felt like this when I got the flu. I might get a high fever tomorrow, but I don't care. I don't care if I get sick tomorrow. I just wanted to enjoy the fact that I took a step towards the future of my decision. Keiichi-kun told me something like that today. Yuki, glad you're doing good. Eh, you got out of work? Just got out of work? Eh? What? It's pretty midnight. Oh my god. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to Phasmo sometime this month. We'll talk about it later. Let's talk, or I'll talk to you, or let's plan it out later. Also, Ru also said okay. Ru was also up to it, so I'll talk to both of you later about that. But for now, this is chapter 5 of the sixth game. I can't believe I've gone through this game every month, or every October, every spooky month, ever since Yuki started VTubing. Kind of amazing. It's like there's more than 6 games. There's much more than 6 games. I can't check right now, but this must be. Yeah, there's a lot. Hold on, maybe I can check before I continue. What do I the Steam? No, not just Steam. I can just. Oh, yeah, this might work. Yeah, I've gone to 6 already. There's at least a couple of more games after this. So this game, I mean, I'm still gonna be doing this for the next several years. Lol.
The high fever and the dizziness made me feel frustrated for some reason. But whenever I felt frustrated, I felt the heat on my wrist too. I grabbed my wrist with my left hand tightly. It made my frustration go away, and it brought me relief. Even the dizziness that I didn't like just before made me feel like I was
in a down-filled futon. I was falling asleep in the world. I was falling asleep in that down-filled futon on the first night of a new world. This dizziness didn't go away for a few days, but I got gradually used to it. This new world looked like the world I used to live in before. But the sunshine was a little bit brighter, and Keiichi-kun's smile looked a bit more gentle than before. We made more noise than we used to. We spent every day slowly but in high spirits. Oh, what an idiot I am. I underestimated the dizziness, and I caught a summer cold in June. I wanted to get better as soon as possible. I should have taken a day off from cloud activities, but I forced myself to play with them every day, and that made it hard for me to get better. I finally learned my lesson recently. I don't need to feel frustrated. There's no limit to happiness in this world. As long as we keep wishing for it, it'll continue forever. I don't need to feel frustrated anymore, because tomorrow I will have the happiness I have today. Well, we have the Watanagashi festival next Sunday. Mi-chan tells us we'll have a lot of fun, and we'll go extra crazy. I really can't wait. The achievement was you are crying now, and the the description was be forgiven. Yay! Yuki forgot. Did you watch? How much of the Higurashi series did you watch? Notice from the... Oh, you're too scared to watch it? Oh my god. Yeah, it can get scary. Oh. Yeah, it can get scary. I can't believe I'm playing Higurashi and then... Oh! Oh my god. Yeah, basically the last game was that. Ooh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, I can't believe I'm doing Higurashi and I'm also doing another, I'm doing Silent Hill F, which is also written by Ryukishi 09. Can't believe I'm doing that this month. Wah, both scary. Well, anyways. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. You're right. I remember. I remember. I did see that. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's like one of the few things I remember seeing, since I don't typically lurk around places. But I can't wait to see the credits. But that's gonna be some time. Okay, notice from the forestry service. Uh-oh, what is this? still June yet. The air is filled with the cries of the cicadas. How's everyone in Hinamizawa doing? The Watanagashi Festival. The Watanagashi Festival is coming just around the corner. Yeah. Yeah, you should play it, even though it's also scary. Well, yeah, I can join it, or I can be there for guidance. I can be there for guidance. We staff members from the Forestry Service are going to perform wood sculpting demonstration at the festival. I'll be there. No worries. We'll be happy to lend out our tools and teach your kids how to sculpt wood themselves. It'll be an excellent memorial gift. Also, we like to inform everyone that we're gonna cut down trees in the local hills this summer as part of the fourth Forest Landscape Management Project. This project involves preserving the beauty of the forest by cutting down old trees and planting new ones. The forest service needs volunteers who are interested in helping us cut down old trees. You can enjoy the beauty of nature under the blue sky while helping out this preservation activity. The project will begin during summer break, so you can bring your kids too. This will be a good opportunity for your friends to learn about nature and have a valuable experience. The locations of the project are the forests in the Takatsudo and Yagouchi areas. Oh no, I knew something was up. Oh no. Why those places? Why these places? Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. Well, anyway. Minus that. Nope. Minus what we just learned. Yeah, there's chapter 6. Yay! We still have quite a few chapters left. Oh yeah, at least we're getting through it. At least we're getting through it. 2 chapters at a time. Oh yeah, I like being able to play Higurashi every October. But again, it always takes a lot from Yuki's throat, so Yuki has to remember to drink as much water as possible so Yuki doesn't dehydrate. So, yep. That's it for today. Let me just see before. I might continue, or I'm not gonna continue, but we'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more right now. But yeah. Give me a second. Wait, I'm gonna switch BGM for a second. I just need to check something out. Okay. Hi. あれOkay. That was weird. That was weird. Whoops. Yeah, I echoed like a lot. Okay. Yeah. Let me think. Nani? I'm trying to think. Oh yes, yeah. I was talking about this earlier, but there's just like there's so many. Wait, Akun. Did you start Star Residence yet, or Blue Protocol yet? Blue Protocol Star Residence yet? Oh, actually, I actually did start it. Yeah. So I can give you. Oh. I'll give you my ID after stream. So I'll log on for a tiny bit. Wait, when are you streaming? when are you streaming? In 10 minutes? Oh my god. Oh, perfect. Maybe I wanted to raid you. Okay. I will. What do you call it? I'll stall for a little bit. As much as I can. But anyways. Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay, but anyways, if you haven't yet, be sure to follow Yuki's socials. Yuki no SNS posting. Unfortunately, Yuki won't be streaming for the rest of the week, most likely, I think. We'll see. I have to think about it. I'm most likely busy, but we'll see. I just have stuff to do. Yuki has stuff to do, but Yuki wants to stream, but Yuki also has stuff to do, so that's why Yuki's not sure if she can stream the rest of this week. But if Yuki doesn't stream the rest of this week, Yuki will be back on Monday. But if just check Yuki's social, check Yuki's socials if Yuki ends up doing a gorilla stream. 週末に配信がないけど、ゲリラ配信をすれば、ユキの SNS をチェックしてにゃー。 I might read someone. That's why I'm also thinking for a second. So please hold on for a second. Okay. I don't usually raid, or I try my best sometimes to raid, try to raid people that I don't use, or that I haven't raid before, that are playing the same game. I try doing that sometimes, so we're gonna do that actually. So this is not Higurashi, or not this particular game, but it looks like the original Higurashi, I think. So we'll raid right now. We'll raid another. We'll raid another Higurashi player right now. We will be raiding Beatrice, who's also playing Higurashi. Okay. Okay. Hi. So anyways, thank you so much for coming to Yuki's Higurashi stream. Arigato nya. Please use these raid messages that I put there. The first one, if you have Yuki's, or it's the Nippanya raid message. So if you have Yuki's emotes, please use the first one. The second one, please use the second one if you don't have Yuki's emotes. But anyways, thank you so much for coming to Yuki's Higurashi stream. Arigato nya. Yuki will be back. If not, Yuki's not back next week, or if Yuki's not back this weekend, Yuki will be back on Monday. But check Yuki's socials just in case Yuki does have a gorilla stream. But anyways, Yuki will be back on Monday. Probably Yuki will be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday next week, probably. But anyways, Yuki hopes to see you all next week. So anyways, tune ya. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.